Hey everyone, welcome to Collector Chatter. Funko thinks that Star Wars fans will buy anything, and it's not true.
Collecting is the way. Now let's chat.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Collector Chatter, episode 94. I'm your host, Migs. Here, my co-host, Charlie. As always, we are ready to talk about Funko thinking that Star Wars
Yeah,
fans literally will buy anything, right?
agreed.
I
I
mean,
mean,
that's what it seems like.
they really think no matter what they put out, everyone's going to buy it, which I don't know why they still think that. Because if you walk into any GameStop, they're giving away the deluxe pops, which is a little preview of what we're going to be talking about here. But it's a very disappointing moment in the Funko fandom.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting episode because we don't like bashing episodes, but this is
No,
kind of maybe turning into one of those in the terms. A lot of them have to do with Star Wars. We have, of course, the NFTs, which officially we got announced. So we're going to talk about those. We're going to talk about some other craziness that Funko is doing, basically restocking something and kind of changing it a little bit,
not cool.
whatever, Star Wars related as well. We do have some leak NFTs potentially coming soon, which we can't wait to talk about those. And of course, if it ain't Funko without another Buckeye event, and that was another dramatic turn.
They need to
Uh
stop doing this. Oof.
yeah, bro, it's been wild. So this one's gonna be this should be a fun one today. So we'll start it off with the Star Wars NFTs. So
Yes.
basically, when it comes to the latest drop of Funko NFTs are Star Wars. So, what are your thoughts when you saw
Yeah.
these?
So my immediate thoughts are what the Funko. Like, I'm not gonna lie, when I saw them, I was really taken aback. Everything everyone in the community was saying was, don't repeat molds, don't repeat molds. So many great characters. We've even mentioned in a few episodes past, like it is coming up and on the Phantom Menace anniversary, which there's been leaks that we're going to be getting new pops. To me, that would have been like an easy in for the NFTs. Let's get some really obscure characters from the prequels that we don't have. But no, we're getting all just the basic characters that we always get. We're getting a Luke, getting a Vader, we're getting a Palpatine, we're getting a 3PO, and we're getting a royalty of a Leia. We're getting no Freddy Funko, which I know before we were kind of like, oh, we're definitely going to get a Freddy Funko for this because we
Yeah.
know they make them. It's now very clear. I mean, Funko or Drop are probably never going to admit this, but Disney must not want the NFTs. Like, I think a lot of this has to do more with the NFTs than it actually does with the physical pops. They don't want an NFT living out there with their name that has a Freddy Funko on it, I guess. I don't know. So but the kicker is they're the first ever, well, I guess not the first ever deluxe pops, but they're the first ones they're telling people are deluxe because you got that
And the
Buddy
whole
the
set.
Elf. Yeah, the whole
Yeah.
set is deluxe. But the elf from what now 2 Christmases ago,
Oh,
which
yeah.
took forever to come in. The Grail is a normal size Funko Pop, but Miggs pulled it in when he got it in the mail, and people were seeing it beforehand, but it was in a deluxe pop box.
Yeah.
These are all deluxe for Star Wars, which one causes issues. We all know the shipping's a joke to begin with, even though it does seem they're getting a little better. I think all the goodwill that they've gone with the fans of it getting better is going to go right out the window with this because I think it was dish trackers maybe I noticed I never thought of. There are no pop protectors that Funko makes, like shipping protectors for deluxe pops. They either get thrown in a box or they get wrapped up once in bubble
Yeah.
wrap that doesn't even protect it.
Anything bigger, anything this size or bigger,
Yeah.
because like the rides don't really have any type of thing.
Nope.
Obviously, like the 10 inch and stuff like that don't either. So moments, they're always like getting messed up, the boxes. And I don't know. I'm not like hardcore Star Wars fan like you are. I'm a fan,
Yep.
but I kind of like, I mean, I said it, I was like, they're gonna go with like the main ones because We know that everyone knows these, whether you're a hardcore fan or a
Yep.
casual. Like, it's obviously the ones that people will recognize, right? Now, a couple of these are kind of interesting. Like, obviously, the
I
Luke
do
one is
like some of
cool.
them.
Yeah, like the
Like,
Luke one is cool because he's upside down. There's a little bit of a background. Like, that's kind of what adds to the whole, like, okay, this is a deluxe. That's why I thought the Buddy one was so dumb because, like, yeah, he was on a piece of ice, but bro, he was literally a regular pop that they just put in a ridiculously looking big box.
yes.
Whereas most of these kind of have like not a scene, but they're in like like a
Yeah.
background or sitting in something, like whatever. So like I understand why they are, but they shouldn't have done it because people don't want bigger stuff.
No.
Like, yeah, like I have a bunch of 10-inch pops and I love some of them, but like the average collector does not want bigger size things. Like there's not many collectors out there. And the reason why specific it's not even just 10-inch pops, it's like these specific type of pops. These are the ones that you always see sitting in Targets and
Yep.
Walmarts and like tons of them. Like they're just like they'll have one character 50 times on a shelf, and you're like, clearly, what was the point of this? Why did they over mass produce this? Basically, like go crazy with it. Um, Besides the fact that they're regular characters, most of them we already literally have. Like the Vader, essentially, we pretty much have. The Palpatine one is they
We
actually make that
have.
exact same thing. It just doesn't have that little background. Like it's the exact same
To
pop.
me, that is the most insulting one out of this whole thing. It's just insane. The comparisons are all people are making jokes right now all over the internet. Like, you can buy these pops right now. They're funny. You can't actually buy all these pops
Yeah,
right now, but you can buy this pop.
yeah,
Just
it's
like you
it's
said, without the background.
insane. Yeah, the Han Solo one, yeah, his head's out. It's a little different. So that one's okay. That one's not bad of the set. The C-3PO just seems pretty lazy. And then I think honestly the worst is the royalty. The Leia, like I get what they did, and it's like, yeah, she's in front of the poster. To me, it doesn't really make sense because this isn't a pop movie poster style. Like that's
Yeah.
what they kind of did, but shrunk it. And then it's considered glow in the dark because the lightsaber in the photo glows in the dark. Bro, that is so weak. Like,
I
I
completely
don't
agree
even,
with you.
I don't even,
I wouldn't even call it glow in the dark. I personally
no.
I personally do like the royalty though, because as an OG Star Wars fan, this is a look of the original poster. Like, I know we have tons of Leia pops, but the way Leia looks in this poster and this pop, like, she doesn't actually ever really look that way in the movie. Same with Luke, even though Luke is being covered. And it makes me feel like it would have been maybe cool if we got the way they all looked in this poster. Like, this Leia was standalone. People would still complain about it's just another Leia pop, but or the fact that they went this poster out, maybe we could have gotten these mini deluxe pops if it had to be deluxe of all the different movies of like it coming to life. Because
Yeah,
as we've talked about the huge movie posters, which, if you have a place to put them, a few of them, if you're a huge fan, it's cool, but clearly they're not selling. They've been sent to basically to Marshalls, and Amazon's giving them
yeah.
away. But yeah, I don't know what Funko was thinking, why they thought people were going to be pumped about this. As a huge Star Wars fan, I would have told you this would have been my biggest packs ever. We were going to have the sickest video for the channel. This and
Hmm.
that. This is going to be like, I will maybe get a few packs just because I would like to pull the grail. The other ones, I probably, if I really want them for my collection, I'm sure they won't be that expensive after
Which
that.
one's the girl?
The Grail is Luke, which
Is it
I
Luke?
do
Okay.
love. I do like that one. That's one of my favorite scenes from Empire Strikes Back. One thing though about that, a lot of people are pissed off about, and I agree. There's 1,980 of the Grail. First time
Yeah.
it's ever gone over 999.
Yeah. Which is
And
supposed to
like,
be the year of
it's
the
the year the
movie.
movie came out. I'm assuming that was actually done on purpose, not an amazing
Yeah,
coincidence.
because I mean they did that with Stranger Things.
Oh, yep.
Like it seems intentional. I just don't necessarily think it's like I don't know if like someone's gonna be like, oh, this is so much more special because it's the
Yeah,
same
no,
year and that piece count because we all know that that piece count isn't truly what it is because they're never gonna redeem the exact amount.
so true.
So it's just a thing at
Which
that point.
no one is talking about that one. Good call.
Yeah. So that's the only thing that's kind of like, well, that doesn't make sense. But yeah, it kind of ruins the whole like the amount of packs and the pull rate will then technically be easier, I guess you could say, because
Yeah.
you're not getting that 9.99 because that's what it's always been, no matter what the amount of packs are. So this one I think has like 30,000 premium and 35,000 standard. So it's a decent number. It's not as high as I thought. I actually thought they were going to go even
I
crazier with
I
this,
do agree.
which is interesting, but it still is a high number. It kind of is in that part though. It's like this isn't a home run. The number's not massive, but it's not low enough that like, okay, this is gonna be like a set that could sell fast. And it makes you think like, do you think this is gonna sell out?
No, not
Yeah, I
even
don't think
not
so.
not a chance.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And I mean, I think you will see something like the last set, which was Star Trek, which whoever was like not good at all. However, the set before that, Transformers, did sell out. So it's like it's just so weird.
That's all
Now,
that
is
because of the
this
Gasslecast
yeah,
TFing.
of course, TF, everybody was TFing like wild. But like clearly Star Wars is probably the biggest IP that they probably own, I would say. I mean,
Yeah,
some people could say Marvel maybe, but like Star Wars has to be probably the biggest, right? And when it comes to collectors and toys and figures, Star Wars has always been massive. We've had multiple episodes that kind of talk about that. So the lead up to this has been so wild. Like we've been talking about this. Like, are they going to come out with NFTs? They finally announce it. We get more official stuff, and now we got them. And it just seems like the hype was so big that the letdown is like even bigger. If that makes any sense, I think that's
totally.
part of it because truly, we both kind of said, I don't think this was going to be something that we were both going to be like, wow, this is exactly what they were going to do because we just didn't. It just didn't make sense. It made more sense that they were going to fumble this one. And
Yeah,
honestly, they kind of did.
they messed up. This would have sold out, in my opinion, if the pops were good. I know it's
Yeah.
easier said than done,
Dude,
but like it
even
really
if it
is
was
all about that.
if these exact same pops weren't deluxe, it probably would sell more.
Oh yeah, totally.
Like I think the deluxe thing is ridiculous. Like people hated the whole Buddy being in deluxe, and it wasn't known. It was just after the fact. That was kind of like you were stuck with it regardless, but you were
Well,
like,
it's like
what the
read
hell?
the
Why is
room.
this? Yeah, why is this looks like why is it like this? It looks terrible. So like to know that, like you were talking about this earlier, but when these things get shipped, like, bro, these boxes are gonna be ridiculous. You're gonna get huge boxes.
Ridiculous.
For people that have multiple stuff, you're gonna get like massive boxes. They're clearly gonna be probably damaged because they're not gonna ship these right now. Maybe they have something that we haven't seen Funko drop or come out with, and maybe Drop has better because recently they have been
You would like to think
putting
maybe.
better sorters, right? So you would think that they were gonna do that, but I don't know, man. And it even like it's hard to get an actual pop protector for these size things. So like if you can't put them in a nice freaking armor. I mean, I don't know if they make an armor for deluxe. I know they make one for like 6 inch, I think, but
Yeah.
like this is technically different. So I don't know. I just think it's awful. And like just off the Leia thing, the reason why I said I thought this was pretty bad was because I would have rather it just been that outfit, that version of Leia in a regular pop. Like the
No,
whole
no,
like
I agree. I
poster
do agree.
aspect kind of just like it's very random. And it's like the only one that does that. The other ones don't have that. Even if like the backgrounds are all the same, kind of how like they did with Vader and Palpatine, like those two are the same, but then the other ones are it's just really odd. It's like
It's
I don't
really
know.
odd.
It's so all over the place. It's weird. The more I look at it, the more I'm picking things apart. But I agree that the Luke one's probably the best one. Like, yeah, they have one of him looking like this, but it's not like upside down with the ice and all that. So
Yeah,
like that's kind of
that's
cool.
a stretch when people are complaining about that one, in my opinion. Like
Yeah, yeah,
this is
no.
one of the most iconic scenes in probably in my favorite movie of all time. Also, I do love the Han Solo one too. Yes, we have him in Carbonite, but I mean, this is him getting put into Carbonite. I mean, it's not
It
the
is different.
same. It is
Yeah, it is different.
different.
It is
So
different.
I want to read something funny with that someone posted on
Yeah.
Facebook about this. The Funko. Can't wait for the NFT He-Man Dorbs drop. Seriously. How do you mess up the most anticipated release in brand history? No one at that meeting was like, this is a bad idea. Or did Amazon say, we're sitting on like 90,000 units of these oversized shit Star Wars pops that can't even sell for 75% off? Take the next way we were going to drop on the platform and sell it yourself. And Funko said, hold on, vinyl soda. That's also what people don't care about. I'm
Give
just
it
like,
a thumbs up.
yeah, that is so funny, but so on like the nose. Even I stopped collecting those, and I'm like, I try to get all the new Star Wars stuff. It's just there's just no point, and like they always come damaged too. Even though I would
Yeah.
take them out of the
Yep.
box, but you don't want the NFT box to be damaged. Not to keep saying the same thing over and over,
No,
but
yeah, we don't want to keep beating a dead horse at this point. Basically, overall, very bad. Fumbled this one. Will we be getting packs? Probably a couple. Like
yeah,
I don't mind getting a couple just to see if I could pull something, but no way I'm going crazy on this drop
no,
at all. And I don't see a lot of people doing so. Now, maybe some people will bite, but I don't know. I don't think this is gonna sell out, and I guess we will see. This officially, just to kind of give you a little bit more details on it, drops the what is like the 28th? Well, no,
the 26th. It's also a
26th.
drop exclusive, which we're not even talking about.
Yeah, no, that was another thing. Which that's
So
another reason why it may not sell out like the Disney one, like
correct.
not the
Even if they were
most
fire, they
favorite
may
thing for
not.
people. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's not an easy way to get these. So let us know your thoughts because this does seem like it's a pretty controversial one. People have been so excited for this. Now we finally got it, and it's not what we really were looking forward to. Now are we kind of surprised? Not really. I'm not super surprised that they went this route and that they came out like this. I would not have ever guessed the whole
No.
freaking deluxe version of these, but yeah, not no bueno. Uh, but we kind of started the episode by saying like, Funko thinks Star Wars fans will buy anything. And this was one of the big things because we do feel like this is an example of that, where they feel like they will buy anything. And the next thing we want to talk about is another perfect example of that. And it's even crazier because
Crazier.
this has to do with a pop. I'm talking about big pops again. How about 18-inch mega size pops, right? We all know about them. There's not too many of them, which we love. They make it pretty
Yeah. They are pretty
special when they do
selective.
drop one. I own two. I have the Iron Man one and the Batman, the regular, not the OG Batman. And I love both of them.
Yeah.
I think they're awesome. I know they make like a Harry Potter one, which looks super sick. They have a Groot one. They have Pikachu, a couple Pokemon I think they've
Loki.
come out. The Logan one most recently as well. And one Star Wars one, speaking of Star Wars, that had dropped a while back now, was a Boba Fett. And of course, this is a pretty sick one.
Yeah.
I have the 10-inch version. No, I have the black with the red 10-inch
Oh, yeah.
version. Anyway, they have like a couple different versions. But this is like the classic looking Boba Fett mold. Uh, Sick. I love Boba Fett. I think this is awesome. I remember back when this came out, I was very tempted. Price points on these are always kind of wild, but I remember I was very tempted. Like I was like, should I go after this? I don't have a damn room for it. But that
But it's
figure
so
on a
sick.
desk or somewhere on a stand somewhere would look amazing. And they dropped it. Whatever. Now we're getting like pictures and like something is coming out saying that it's a GameStop exclusive. They're gonna re-release it, but there's gonna be an LE 300 piece, so limited to 300 pieces, chase version that you can get, which is of course the proto all white Boba, which we have that already as well as like regular pop size. But like, is this sick? Yes. Looks awesome. Fire. Great idea for like a giant pop because you don't really ever see chases of these. Like, in my opinion, like that's a cool kind of thing.
Agreed.
But the fact that this already released and now they're re-releasing it just to try to push more hype and then say there's also a chase option, to me is like a slap in the face to like a legit collector. Like
Boom.
we definitely are.
Yeah.
And a
Um,
lot of people that we know.
yeah.
I mean, I know you're on the same page with this, but like,
Oh, yeah. I'm so pissed
bro,
about this. It makes me angry. And the reason I'm gonna double down on the Funko just thinks Star Wars fans are gonna buy anything and they don't care. They're just trying to make our money. They've totally gone insane about this chase stuff now. I mean, the chases, I loved the chases with sodas, but like when they're keep doing it with like it was terrible with the die cast. It is fun with the possible they're here or there, but with this, they're touting that it's 300, and some people who are hardcore, they're gonna buy it, which unfortunately I feel sorry for them. They should have just released this as a 300 LE Funko Pop. It would have been fire. People would have been talking about it in a positive way,
Hmm.
and it would have sold out instantly. They would have pushed product, but no, they had to attach it as a chase to make more money. And most people are not going to get it. And there's some people who are going to buy multiple at a time, spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and probably not even get a chase.
Yeah. That's the worst part is that like you're re-releasing something. Like I 100% agree with that. Like if it was only the white one, it was LE, whether 3.5, even
Yeah,
1,000, even if it was like
agreed.
something like that, like that's all they made. All right, cool. This is sick. It's limited. Even if it's, it's an 18-inch, we don't have it in white. They've done this before with regular pops, where they'll drop a regular pop, they change the color, paint job, whatever, and it's like now limited or it's different, but it's on its own. And there's never really issues with that.
No,
Like, yeah, if they overdo that 100 different times with one character, sometimes we're kind of like, all right, move on. But that wouldn't be that big of a deal. The second that you say, oh, now we're gonna re-release something, so now it already was existed. Now we're just gonna re-release it, so that you have to try to buy this again just so you have a chance at a chase is like crazy. Like if that's the way to do it, and again, this isn't 100% like confirmed. Like it's not official. It's like it's a pretty strong rumor, I guess you could say. A lot of people are putting it out there like
yeah, I
that
mean,
this
I
is
believe
out
it.
there. But yeah, I 100% would believe this. Um, because if they're pushing out the word chase and everything, that obviously comes with a comment. That means you have 5 comments to one chase, whatever the ratio they're going to go with. You're not just going to get this as an exclusive. Now, it would have been just thrown out there as like, there's a sick, super limited version of Boba Fett that's going to be coming out in an 18-inch. All right, cool. That's awesome. That builds hype. It's exciting.
I would have
It'll
tried to
probably
buy it.
sell. Oh, yeah, for sure. That would have been exactly the same kind of thing where it's like, I was close to wanting the regular Boba Fett, but if that came out, all right, maybe I'll just go after that one because I didn't go after Boba Fett. Even though I don't know if the regular one you can still like buy it anywhere. I'm not 100% sure. I didn't really check
I'm
on that.
pretty sure it's like sold out at GameStop.
Okay. Yeah, it was a GameStop exclusive, right?
Yeah,
So it's just odd, and it kind of goes right back to the whole like, does Funko just think, you know, whether it's Star Wars fans in general or whatever fan that they're doing this towards, that they feel like they're more hardcore than they like that they almost feel like people won't say no to these things. And it's like, I don't know, man. Like again, people are gonna try to buy this. Unfortunately, like you said, have to get multiple ones. Like that's not an easy resell for these damn biddings. Not
no.
everyone's gonna buy these, and that's not gonna be a cheap route of trying to get this like one pop. Now that's a pretty limited number, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
know what you think.
I think this is gonna fall on flat. I mean, there's no way it's gonna sell out. I'm still trying to think though, was this someone's brilliant idea to get rid of inventory and they just like repainted? They made, or they were like, we already have this one, we'll make 300 of them, and then we still have the old box. That's probably what they did, and that's their way of trying to push it. Um, but also what they should have done was release this on like, and maybe this is gonna happen. Like this is a Star Wars Day like
Mhm.
release, May the 4th, because I think the rumor disc tracker had that it would like be shipping out in late June, which pre-order comes up
Yeah,
then.
pre-orders. Yeah.
But then again, like it should have just been, I don't want to keep repeating myself, but it should have just been that one. And they also probably should have released the NFTs on May the 4th, actually, too. Now that I'm thinking about it. Like, why? Why in March? It's only a few months away. It's just like Funko, come on. Just
Hmm.
such easy little things to build the hype. Yeah.
Yeah, but we also can't be surprised at them missing. Like they missed on the soda drop. We're
Yeah.
like, Star Wars soda should be coming out on May the 4th. They should be like this, and they weren't. They were rumored before then, so they clearly were being talked about, or someone knew they were coming. Didn't do it. So like, yeah, this would have the NFTs for sure. I feel like should have been a May the 4th thing.
Yeah.
And even if they weren't great and they came out to with what we saw, at least there's still that hype because it's coming out on a day that everyone is talking and thinking about Star Wars.
Yeah.
So I don't know,
So,
man.
moral of the story is, let us know in the comments what you think. Is Funko taking advantage of Star Wars fans? And if you haven't already, if you could like this video, and come on, subscribe to this channel if you haven't. Collecting is the way. So, but you want to move on from Star Wars because, like, it's just upsetting me how much Funko is messing up Star Wars.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure you're not so happy. We'll run through quickly on this little rumored NFT list. So I know we get these all the time, and we get pictures and random lists that happen to pop up. And for the most part, almost every single one has always
Yeah.
come to fruition. So they're pretty legit. This was an interesting one. There was 4 different types of like little categories, I guess you could say, whatever, that were added onto a little bit of a list. One of them we'll just run through, I guess, from the top and go over, was Star Trek Next Generation, which we did get.
Yep.
So we know those were ones that dropped. Dungeons and Dragons, we're going to get a series 2. Okay, so we already had the first one. Not really super hyped about that. Batman 85th Anniversary Heroes. So we kind of did talk about this one in the past where it's like,
Yes.
what is this exactly going to be? Now, 85th anniversary could be a mixture of things, could be classic stuff, could be newer stuff, who knows? I'm excited to see what that is, especially if it's real and what actually is part of that. Then we have Disney Afternoon, which I don't know if we did. Is that one of the
We
ones we
did.
mentioned
That was a
before?
rumored one. I think that one has
Okay.
potential to be pretty good, actually.
Yeah. So that's going to be another one that'll be interesting because it's very different. It's not just your generic Disney. And then a 2024 version of April Fools, which that one, of course, would be coming up very soon if that's the case. Because like last year,
Yeah.
we did last year was the first time, right? We had
Yep.
April
Which that
Fools,
was a
very
cool drop.
small, super niche. That one came out of nowhere though. Now knowing that it's going to come again, maybe not as exciting, but I guess we'll see what they
Yeah.
do with it. But yeah, that's set right there. Nothing crazy. I think the Batman one's pretty exciting, and the Disney one is intriguing
Agreed.
to say the least. So,
Next
you can go to
quadrant,
the next.
we have Daria,
Yeah,
which that's way too niche in my opinion. Is maybe I sound like a hypocrite, like I want the NFTs to be niche, but that's way too niche. Unless that's like super small, I don't see anyone
could
caring
be.
about that, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Like I think
yeah.
that will be no one buys. Next, Batman villains. We love our Batman here, but like they're now making too many Batman NFT stuff, in my opinion, especially in these select few that we have left to even talk about. It's like 2 of them are Batman.
Yeah.
And I would assume they'd probably be comic book style.
Yeah, I
And
was
I
gonna say
almost,
that would be the route to go.
yeah, but they could look cool. It's just I mean, they're really riding that WB license hard. My Little Pony series 2. I don't know if anyone really cared about the first series, so why?
Hmm.
Star Wars, we already know we're getting that. So
Hmm.
unless it's Star Wars Series 2, then they're better,
Yeah.
right? So yeah,
Very true.
I mean, once again, like there's only been very few that have ever been on any of these lists that we've had that haven't come true. So odds are we're getting all these.
Yeah. And the next set, obviously, I'm very excited for. We have some WB horror as well again. So Universal Monsters is one of the ones which I was very excited for when I saw this. I love the Universal Monster stuff. They have a lot of pops already. I have a few of them actually. Some of them are pretty old, some of them are redone. Walgreens for a little while was coming out with a lot of exclusives. This is be a pretty cool set if they make them look really good, and if we can get a Freddy. We've had Freddy included as a Universal monster already in some like Fun Days boxes, so that's one that I would be very excited to see what they do with it. WB Horror Series 2. I like the first one.
Yeah,
It was a bit odd because it includes it, and it has kind of its own line, so we kind of had a little bit of a back and
yeah,
forth when it came to that. But it's still a set that I think still had some pretty cool looking ones. Obviously, a lot of them were like Conjuring based. I mean, I have most of them here actually. That's a
no,
WB
yeah,
set right there. So it'll be interesting to see kind of like what else do they do. There's not a ton of other options. So to have a series two, maybe it's not like the right way to do it, but I guess we'll see. And then Alien, which is pretty interesting because Alien, the movie obviously or the franchise itself has a few different movies. So that'll be something that could be pretty cool if they
I
make
agree.
it like,
That is
real
potentially
like
cool.
yeah, like a real specific versions
The thing
besides
that's
just the Alien, obviously.
so interesting about the Alien one though that I haven't even I'm thinking about this right now. That's actually a Disney license. So it's just interesting. Because it's a 20th Century Fox movie. Disney owns them.
Hmm.
So that would be their next foray into it, which I do find interesting. Um, so just thinking that right now off the top of
Yeah.
my head, it's just interesting.
Hmm.
Um, and then our last three, this doesn't excite me really at all. Cartoon Network. I was never a Cartoon Network person. I've always was Nickelodeon, Disney. So uh, we've gotten Cartoon Network properties so far. We haven't gotten like a mix of a Cartoon Network drop, which we kind of have gotten for Nickelodeon. So I'm curious if that's the way they're going.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
Which I like that. I think that's cool. We're getting Scooby Doo series 2. I think that'll be a popular one. Actually, a lot of people do like it, but doesn't. I really, what more can they really do for Scooby Doo that doesn't already exist? But and then Rick and Morty, which has been on the list for a long time.
Yeah.
Um, that's been on like our original leaked lists. That one I think would be pretty cool and could have a potential to sell out if it was a smaller drop. But it's interesting that that just keeps being said and isn't happening. So
Yeah. Yeah, because that one is probably one of the only ones left of like that original
yeah,
like list that did start to eventually actually come out. Um, but yeah, overall, some interesting stuff, some stuff that's a little bit exciting, some stuff that's not as exciting, some repetitive stuff. So it's
it's
a
a little
mix, and
lackluster to me, if I'm
it
being
kind yeah,
honest.
it kind of it's interesting because even like recently, I feel like the drops overall have been pretty lackluster. Like the whole. I was thinking about it the other day I dropped, and for some reason I was like, what is it that I haven't finished yet before the redemption period
Yeah,
comes? And I started thinking, like, what the hell do I do? And I was crazy because I go in, obviously they're in order based off of the most recent at the top. And I had to go down about like 5 sets before I got to a set that I was actually collecting something of. And
Squid
I was
Game.
like, damn, I haven't really been getting these in a while. Yeah, Squid Game was literally
Yeah,
the last one. And then before that was the Funkoween that just recently got redeemed. But yeah, everything after that I didn't have any, it wasn't that they were the worst drops because I know you got a few like Harry
yeah.
Potter and things like that, but they just weren't ones that were
We skipped
for
some.
me.
Yeah,
And seeing this list, yeah, and seeing this list, like there's definitely skippable stuff for me. There's some that maybe I think the Universal Monsters and maybe the W horror are the ones that I'm like definitely like, yeah, I would love to get those. The Batman related stuff, even the villains, if they make it comic booky and it's like really, really cool and you're getting kind of random villains that we haven't really seen, I might be excited for that. The 85th, I have no idea what that means,
yeah,
so we got to see what that entails. And then maybe that Disney one if it's like something that we think it may be. Other than that, like I could totally pass on pretty much almost everything else. Um, and most of the series two stuff definitely too. I'm just kind of like, even the Scooby Doo stuff at this point, yeah, not
yeah,
so exciting. But it just kind of it's interesting because obviously Drop is still around and Funko and NFTs are still around and they're going to keep pumping these out. They've been making small changes to certain things. We have seen a little bit on the shipping side of things. But yeah, I don't know like if this necessarily excites me for like, oh, NFTs are going to be amazing. And obviously with this many on here, like this could be, who knows, like there could be other stuff that comes out that's not
yeah.
on this list sprinkled in.
Which has
And
happened.
so it's gonna make the next few months interesting to see what exactly are we gonna get, for NFTs. But definitely let us know what you guys think. NFT news will be over now. We talked about it for a little bit, and we'll end it with some more Funko drama news. We just love talking about that stuff.
Oh yeah.
And it is our yearly. I feel like we should have a yearly segment on this, right? Of the good old Buckeye Warehouse. Yeah, it's so funny because when this first came out, I remember it being like nah, this is something that's just like they had so much stuff, they're changing. This is the way it is, and it's like, no, this is clearly where they just hold excess stuff.
Everything. Yep.
They don't get rid of it. Come the end year, new year, whatever you want to say, time to just wipe clean and get rid of stuff, and they do this crazy thing. Now, I don't hate that idea because getting things for cheap is cool. Being able to get a nice little discount on extra stuff because clearly we know Funko has made tons of certain products, and I wouldn't have an issue with it if that was the only thing that we had. Now, obviously, every year there's always a drama attached to it, and it's usually around how we're just getting stuff at these warehouses that we would not have thought they would have these excess numbers of. And it's for multiple reasons. One, because they're supposed to be limited, they were supposed to be exclusive to certain things, and we're still seeing these things pop up at these warehouses for these ridiculous prices, and it just makes the whole exclusivity and like it just makes you like not trust them
Yep.
when these things are being dropped. And like I said, it's not because they just have a warehouse sale that they're going to get rid of stuff for 50% off, because that's totally normal and there's no issue with that. It's what is being sold to these things that we feel when they were dropped and they were supposed to be so exclusive to certain things, and now we're just seeing them popping up when you like were going crazy trying to sell something and then it quote unquote sold out, and then you're just seeing like tons of them just be given away essentially. And like I don't know, is this done on purpose? Is this just them screwing things up because they calculated things wrong? I don't know. Like, what do you think?
I think whoever does their
What's
inventory
the
or their
reason?
system is terrible. And that person needs to be fired if they haven't
You think it's
already.
just an incompetent thing?
I
It's not just
do.
like a purposeful thing. It's just
I
people are
don't
just dumb.
I do not think this is purposeful. Especially like some of them were the exclusive fun day boxes for the event. And there was that event was such an issue that some people didn't get boxes. So how are there a plethora of them at this event?
That's
That's
what's
where
crazy.
it's just so insulting and so messed up. People are pulling limited 100-piece count Freddy Funkos that like people we're paying tons of money for. It's just like so messed up. Like you said, I don't care if there's a Funko exclusive shop, Funko Pop, let's just say like a one-piece one that's sold out and they happen to find like five in the warehouse and they put them here and they just push them. I'm cool with that. But like these boxes to me are unforgivable. Happily, no one has reported that there's been NFT pops there this year, which
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they had any of
which
those.
it's just funny. If they were there, they probably were buttoned up enough to let's not do this. This is bad press for us. But like, did they really think this wouldn't be? In my opinion, I think we've said this last year. These ones, if they did find them, they don't selling these boxes is not going to make or break their bottom line. It's actually going to do them worse by doing what they're doing, in my opinion. They should have just kept them in the warehouse, give them to Mike to go bring to these events instead of giving the hall exactly what he's doing with the Hall H, even though it's become like a comical thing. Like here, and Mike knows it. We're gonna bring Hall H Ahsoka. Like, just do that with these boxes.
Unlimited exclusive
You'll make people
Ahsoka.
happy. And it makes it seem a little bit like, oh, maybe they held these back to give to their fans. Like it's just like PR marketing 101 of what to do to help your company versus what not to do to tarnish your brand. It's insane to me. How is this still happening? Makes
Yeah,
how is this still happening?
yeah. They got a lot of incompetent people in there. And yeah, just happening constantly. It's specifically with these boxes.
Yeah.
And like when you see it happen once, you're kind of like, damn, what the hell? But when you see it happening every single time, it just really makes you think like you got to be dumb to really believe in these exclusive boxes anymore.
Yeah.
Like they basically are just a joke. They're just a way to like package things together, put it for an event, make it look cool, but it's not like what we genuinely thought or what it may have been at one point, where
Yeah. It
it's
used
like
to be that way.
this is only for this. This is super cool. You pull different stuff in each one, and that's it. You want to resell it, you resell it. You don't, you buy it, whatever it is, and that's it. You don't see it again unless it's someone who happens to just have one, they want to sell it back or they want to do whatever, right? But it's not that anymore. It's becoming a joke. These things are popping up back on websites even sometimes, and like it's crazy. And they're like the numbers clearly don't match. We've always had this
Yeah.
conversation about piece counts with Funko, and it's just like the more and more things happen, the more and more sometimes these numbers feel like they're fake, and it kind of sucks because it takes away from the like, just the fun aspect of the exclusiveness, that thing. And does everything have to be exclusive? No, it could be wide range, whatever. But like to me, I just feel like you get lied to sometimes
Yeah.
when they present these things, and then afterwards it gets leaked. And what's crazy is that like a lot of times when these things happen, every single year when something like this happen, they don't say shit about it.
No. No.
They just keep it moving. We get leaks from people that are there. We get all this crazy talk. Everyone goes nuts. They say nothing about it. They keep it moving, and they talk about the next thing that just comes out. And
Yep.
then the next time they drop a box, they're going to talk about it like it's the greatest thing in the world. You can only get it at this event. This is awesome. You want to be there. Yet 5 months, 6 months later, they're showing up randomly, stacks of them. Like
It's
it's
just not
kind of
cool.
like pathetic. Yeah,
I mean, I
it's
remember
wild. It's
I'm
just
legitimately on a family vacation at lunch, and me and Nikki are trying to get myself this box. Like, oh my God, we're the queue. We're gonna be able to get it. And like it's selling out. The one I wanted sold out. I gotta get this other one. It's like, yeah. And then once again, even though it's like funny, it's not like everyone does have the opportunity to get these boxes now at this event. I mean, technically you could if you went there, you lived there, but it's
yeah.
still like once again, just you're messing up. Just like, dude, I'd rather them be trashed. And I know Funko
And
doesn't want to
you
do
don't know
that, but
about it, they're gone and
like
whatever.
it's
Yeah.
just like, come on. Or put them back up.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm sure if you're able to get to one of these things, you're
Yeah,
happy because you're
exactly.
there, you're getting things for
Yes.
cheap. And like we're not. And I don't want to sound like we're like these bitter people that were like, oh, we weren't there, we get to get because like it's not necessarily something that I'm mad I didn't get. It's just
Exactly.
something that like I feel like should not have been an option, especially because of how they were released. That's mostly what it is. And like I said, these warehouse things totally fine with them happening, and they clearly have to get rid of stuff. And if they made too much of it, like we've seen tons of, we see them sitting on shelves in Target and stuff like that. Those should be what they're just getting rid of for $1, five
Exactly.
dollars, and whatever it is. Like just do it to get rid of them. That's totally fine. But yeah, it's just when it comes down to like these box things, like these fun days boxing, these things are just losing their like luster and stuff, and it's just like I don't know, it's interesting. But overall, Funko, based off of this episode, they keep messing up, man. And it's so funny. I gotta mention this because I sent it in our chat. I sent it to you and Trey. Somebody, it was a specific like store, I think, or whatever,
Yeah.
that it put up a sign. It's kind of funny actually, and it put up a sign, and it's like Funko, but misspelled fuck no, basically, which I thought was a hilarious play on words. And it's got a cross through the Funko Pop, and it says we don't want them. And it's basically like this actual location is saying like, they're buying, they trade, they're looking for Japanese goods and stuff, so they're looking obviously for specific stuff. Don't get upset when we tell you we don't want these ugly things. So like clearly that's very excessive, and it's like
Yeah, yeah. So
something
funny.
like we've never gotten into that, but it's funny, and it kind of just is interesting because this is not the only thing we've seen where we're seeing a lot of people kind of slowly getting rid of collections, kind of slowly selling things, getting out of the game, as you may say, and just like I feel like it's happening a lot now. And it could be for multiple different reasons, it
Yep.
could just be their own personal thing or whatever, whatever. But to me, because we follow so many people, we see it a lot, it just like kind of tarnishes like what Funko really used to be, to like it kind of makes you think like, are they ever going to get back to that? And then we've always talked about that, and we know this is a long process, and we're not giving up on Funko. It's not like we're stopping completely and hate them, whatever. But I have been a little negative, especially with Charlie, and he's usually the one that's kind of the cheerleader, rah rah, to try to be like, no, Funko's still Funko. but it's just hard to like really get to that point when a lot of this stuff keeps happening. And again, it doesn't mean I hate all the stuff that I have. I just hate that it's not as exciting as it used to be because of what's been happening lately. And it's a downer because it's like, can they get back to that? And I think they can, but it's just like hard to see like it happening like that. And that's just kind of like, I don't want to leave it on a negative note or anything, but it's just kind of like, it's something I've been
Yeah.
thinking about a lot. And it's just like, I would love to hear kind of like what other people think, put it out there for everybody to kind of like voice your opinions on this because like, are you still collecting hardcore? Are you getting rid of stuff? Do you think Funko will come back? Like it's just like it's something for us to always be able to talk about. So we don't hate it in that sense because it's
Yeah.
drama, it's news, it's stuff that we love to talk about. But it's just an interesting thing. I don't know if like you kind of wanted to put a little bit into that or
No, yeah, I
what your
mean,
thoughts are.
you definitely took a lot of the words out of my mouth. I mean, I do try to be the half glass full. I still love Funko, like you said. But when you see things like this, and this was a bad week for Funko, for me personally
Yeah.
too. It does, but they could post something next week. I'm a very passionate, reactionary type person. They could post like the greatest Funko Pop ever, and I'll be like, yeah, hell yeah, they're back. But the sales are really unforgivable for like not unforgivable, that's a strong word, but like they gotta stop this. This cannot happen
Yeah.
next year with the boxes. Because those, not to keep talking about the boxes, but they are one of the coolest, most fun things I feel like the Funko community has. Like we always are excited to get them. We show everyone what we get. Everyone's buzzing. Like they're probably some of the best Funko Pops they've come out within the year. Don't tarnish that. Like just don't do it. And like, yeah, I know. Like I'm trying to think of something positive to end this on.
You got
Um,
it, Funko. You can
yeah,
do
you
it.
can do it. Come out with I don't even know what to say. I'm a loss of words because I'm just so like, oh my God. Let's hope we get that Freddie Funko friend of the female version and
Yeah, maybe
she,
that'll spark
starts a
some excitement.
revolution and we can get a Princess Leia, Wonder Woman, whatever we want to call her in the boxes of fun. And I do think that'll start up some excitement. People will be pumped.
Could be. Could be
So
something pretty
yeah.
cool. But we'll edit there. This was episode 94. Lots of craziness happening. But definitely let us know. We would love this episode specifically if you can comment and let us know your thoughts because it was obviously a lot of strong feelings that we had for certain things. And we would love to hear from you guys. So make sure you guys are liking the video, like Charlie said earlier, subscribe, do all the good stuff to really help and show support. Really appreciate you guys for coming in close on episode 100, which may be something special. We're still thinking about what we're going to do for that
Yeah.
because, it's obviously a big milestone for us. But we really, truly appreciate all the support. But yeah, make sure you guys are checking out all of our social stuff. So Charlie will let you guys know, if you don't know already or aren't following us, where to. And yeah, excited for what's to come. But
Yeah. So if you haven't already, please follow us at Instagram at Collector Chatter and then at pop_Migs and at Collector_Charlie. And obviously, please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button. Like Mick said, throw us down some comments. We love responding. The more comments, the better. It helps us out. Hit that notification bell so you know when new videos are coming out. And just please, please, please share this with everyone. We're really trying to go. We want to make that, like Mick said, 100 episode special. And maybe by then we can, bust maybe 750 subscribers. That's a really big goal here. So help us get there. Um, but yeah, as always, just let us know what you're thinking about Funko and collecting is the way. Until the next episode, later.
bye, everybody.